Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive deep into the philosophy behind Japanese martial arts. We're talking about a mindset that's so much more than just winning or losing. It's a way of thinking that really opens up a window into Japanese culture. So, let's jump right in. Okay, so picture this. You're watching a super intense judo match at the Olympics. One of the athletes pulls off this amazing throw and wins the whole thing. They shout, they pump their fist, a totally normal victory celebration, right? But then, if you pan over to the Japanese spectators, you might notice they look, well, a little conflicted. Why is that? The answer really gets to the heart of a completely different way of thinking. And this slide, wow, it lays it all out perfectly. In the West, we usually call these things sports. And what's the goal? To win, to beat your opponent, who you see as an enemy, right? But in Japan, these are often seen through the lens of Budo. And here, the goal is something else entirely. It's about perfecting your own character. And your opponent, they're not an enemy. They're actually a partner who's helping you grow. To really get this, we've got to look at the words themselves, because the name of the game holds the key to the entire philosophy. So think about it. You've heard the names judo, kendo, aikido, even karate-do. They all end with that same character, do. Well, in Japanese, do literally means the way or the path. That one little suffix is telling you that this isn't just about a physical skill. It's about a lifelong journey. And this is the core distinction right here. You have jutsu, which means technique or skill. That's the how-to part, how you defeat an opponent. But do is the path. It's this endless journey of improving yourself through the techniques. It's why Budo is so focused on the process itself, and not just whether you won or lost. Okay, so that's the theory, but what does this philosophy actually look like in the real world? Let's take a peek inside a training hall, a dojo, and see how these ideas play out. This right here is the absolute bedrock of Budo. It means it begins and ends with respect. Before a match, you bow. After a match, you bow. It's not just some empty gesture. It's a real expression of gratitude. Gratitude to your partner, to the training space, to the art itself. This spirit of rei, or respect, is what turns what could be just a violent technique into a path for mental and spiritual discipline. Now, this next concept is so cool. It's called zanshin. If you translate it literally, you get something like lingering mind. It's this state of total, unbroken awareness that you maintain even after your technique has landed. It's basically the exact opposite of letting your guard down. Let's walk through it. So, you've just executed a perfect technique, you scored a point, but what happens next? Nothing. You don't celebrate, you don't drop your hands, you stay completely focused, totally ready for a potential counterattack. You keep your posture, your mental alertness. Only when the moment is truly, completely over do you relax and show respect. You can see how this comes from an old battlefield mindset, right? A moment of celebration could literally be your last. And this brings us right back to our first question about that Olympic audience. Zanshin is the polar opposite of a victory celebration. One is about calm, unbroken awareness focused on your partner. The other is a huge explosion of joy focused entirely on yourself. In fact, get this. In kendo, if you score a perfect point but celebrate right away, the judges can actually take that point away from you. That's how important zanshin is. A lot of us think of the black belt as the ultimate goal, right? It means you've mastered the art. But in the world of Budo, it's actually the exact opposite. Getting your first-degree black belt just means you've finally learned the basics. You've learned the alphabet. Now the real training, the true path, can finally begin. It's a symbol that you're just getting started. So understanding all this stuff opens the door to some really fascinating conversations about culture. So if you wanted to talk about this with someone, say a language exchange partner, where would you even begin? Let's go over a few ideas. This one gets right to the point. It's a fantastic question because it really highlights those cultural differences in sportsmanship. Is a big celebration just pure harmless joy? Or could it be seen as disrespectful to the person you just beat? There's really no wrong answer, and that's what makes hearing different viewpoints so interesting. And of course, this idea of building character through physical activity isn't only found in Japan. You can find it everywhere, from long-distance running to chess to ballet. Talking about those parallels is an awesome way to find some common ground. The reasons we do these things can be super revealing too. Do parents sign their kids up for discipline, for self-defense, or just for fitness? The why behind the popularity of kids' martial arts can tell you a lot about a culture's values. And to help you out, here are some of those key terms we've been talking about. From the dojo, that sacred place for training, to Riji, which is all about respect and etiquette, these words are really the building blocks you need to talk about the Budo spirit. All right, so as we start to bring this all together, let's connect this whole philosophy back to a journey that I think we can all relate to, the path of learning something new and difficult. Check this out. This is a core philosophy in arts like judo. It basically means you don't fight fire with fire. You don't use brute force against brute force. Instead, you use your opponent's own strength and momentum against them. It's about being smart, being efficient, not just being the strongest person in the room. And this is where it all clicks. Because just like Budo, learning a language isn't about getting to some finish line called fluency. It's a journey. It's a path. It's an endless, fascinating journey of self-improvement. Think about it. Every single conversation you have, every mistake you make, every new word that finally sticks, that's all part of the process. You're not just learning grammar and vocabulary. You're building discipline. You're building resilience. And you're building a whole new way of looking at the world. You are walking your own path. So remember, reaching that black belt, or reaching what you think of as fluency, that's just the starting line. The real journey, the really exciting part, has just begun. So the question I want to leave you with is this: what does your own path, your own do, look like?